Chris, before we get underway this week, for those who are watching this episode on our YouTube feed, can you see that I've spilt Indonesian stir fry down my white t-shirt or not?
From this distance, at this level of resolution, you're fine. No one's going to notice.
Excellent. Cool. All right, let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of Mildly Informed with me, Richie Firth, and him, Chris Skinner. And first of all, let me just say to those of you who are wondering, no, we are not this evening sat at the end of a bed next to each other. I miss you. What a fun week last week was.
I'm very sad not to be back in a hotel room with you. I'm in a different location this week, but it's not as good as being with you. Can I just ask, though, what's that on your shirt?
You arsehole. It's Indonesian stir fry. I spilt some down my white shirt, and some of you, if you're watching this on our YouTube feed, will be able to note it. I thought it was out of shot. That's a shame. Okay.
I can't see anything. I honestly can't see anything. Honestly. No, I still can't see anything.
I still can't see. Well, that's good.
Was it worth it? Was it tasty?
It's really good, but I ate it too quickly because I was just excited to speak to you and all of our listeners. You can get in touch as we try to inform you mildly about things we've observed and experienced this week, and you can do so by emailing us mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com or finding us on our socials at Richie Firth or at Producer Chris.
Yada, yada, yada. What we want to know is what's happened to us this week, starting, Richie, with you.
Chris, I'm sure all of us have taken in the last few days the excitement of another mission to the moon, the Artemis 2 mission. Yesterday evening, as we record right now, I stayed up, and I'm reckoning you did too, to watch the live blast off from Cape Canaveral of the 4 astronauts up towards the moon. The first time a manned mission has gone back in decades, this time going further than men have ever gone before. And indeed, ladies, figuratively speaking, you know what I'm doing. Don't be woke. We're going the other side of the moon. We've never been that far before. We're going the other side of the moon. It's fascinating, Chris. What is it about space travel and the moon for these wizened mid-40s gentlemen like we are get all excited about it?
I loved it. So I actually didn't stay up late, but the first thing I did when I woke up this morning was put the whole 9 minutes from launch up into proper space on with my youngest. And we watched in awe, genuinely. Just the sight of that rocket with all that fuel just taking off it will never not be like jaw-droppingly, like magnificent and devastating at the same time. Like there's something brutal about it, isn't there?
It's just mind-boggling. First of all, the fact that the astronauts are sat on top of all of that rocket fuel.
Yeah.
No, never mind all of the things that could and hopefully won't happen over the next 4 days. That moment when it's ignited, the trust in science and technology, that all of that rocket fuel that is underneath you, and all they are is in a capsule the size of a Ford Transit sat on top of it, the trust that that's going to be okay is incredible. Secondly, as a man who doesn't like heights, just going up that ladder to begin with, to get right up to the top. You wouldn't get me doing that. I'd get up one flight and go, no, actually, do you know what? Give the other fella a chance. This isn't for me. And then you get to the actual flight of it. I was watching like yourself, and I think it was about 90 seconds, maybe at best 2 minutes into it. And you've got the flight director going,
Artemis 2 is now at the Mach 2 speed of light.
And I'm thinking, this is incredible. They've gone that quickly. It's just amazing. And as you say, like 9 minutes later, they're up in proper space. All of the other rockets have been jettisoned, and they're just in their transit going to the moon.
Do you know what would be the worst for you? What would be the worst thing about that journey?
For all of the prep that they've done to get to this moment, I doubt that the 4 astronauts will have spent this amount of time together. And for me, the worst thing would be the human side of it. It would be maybe 12 hours into it and thinking, oh my God, he's an arsehole.
I think there's worse than that. But worse than discovering someone is an arsehole, what about like the people on Apollo 10 discovered, seeing the product of an arsehole floating past you in zero gravity?
Yes, a very good point. That's a very good point.
One of those, now nearly 24 hours into space as we record this, would have had to put the hand up and go, I'm sorry, it's going to be me first. I have to go.
But surely that stays in the spacesuit.
Well,
they look baggy things. They ain't dropping their keks in the toilet.
At various stages, they don't. Obviously, they're only in the spacesuit. Obviously, when they go out, like they've got like, you know, and when they're just bouncing around in the craft, they've got kind of more like jumpsuity costumes on. But
surely there's not a toilet.
So I believe there is a kind of a space toilet for them this time, which is one of the big upgrades from the early moon landings. What a great... I'm sorry to debase this conversation because it is a thing of science, marvel and wonder. Did you know there are 96 bags of human turd on the moon?
96 bags? From that one mission that we did up
from 69 to 72, there was a few missions that went there, and accumulatively between those missions, because they had nothing to do with it, you know, what do you do? They didn't have great disposal systems, and they didn't have so now they have a kind of makeshift loo. I understand. Before then, it was just peeing and pooping in bags.
What I find fascinating is that 69, okay, first space mission. One small step, all that kind of stuff.
Don't forget your toilet.
When they come back and they're sitting down with Buzz and Neil and the other two, whoever they were, they don't really get the attention.
Michael Collins.
Him. When they're sitting down with them and so, like, you know, doing a debrief, because I'm sure they were doing debriefs back in 1969, someone would have said, by the way, we've had to leave some shits on the surface of the moon. You would have thought NASA would have been like, okay, cool, we'll take a toilet next time. Even just like a camping potty or something or other. I find it fascinating that we keep on going back and they're just leaving turds on the moon.
Well, this is the thing. I guess now we're reaching a brave new era, spaceflight, where for all the other technological revolutions, finally a commode is the big one.
I find spaceflight fascinating. One of my favourite films, very underrated. Go check this out, Space Cowboys. That's all about just the marvel of watching space flight, NASA trying to bump up their ratings. It's a great film. Clint Eastwood, Tommy Lee Jones, James Mason, they're all in it. Check it out, Space Cowboys. I'm going to review the concept of space travel, and all these years on, despite all of the other technological developments that we have made and make other things in our past decades look ridiculous, space travel is still a 5-star concept.
Scares me shitless, mate. Honestly, the idea of being in a box going up there, honestly, it's horrific.
I never said I'd do it myself.
It's like we accidentally get on a train carriage with a bunch of like opposing football fans. It's just claustrophobic and scary. If you want a TV recommendation to go along with your movie recommendation, the final season of For All Mankind is out on Apple TV. I've watched it all to this point. It's amazing. Starts in the 1960s, then follows an alternative reality where different events happened and space journey took different leaps and bounds. It's an amazing show.
Oh, Apple TV, you say?
Apple TV, For All Mankind.
Hey, look, this was just a review about space travel, but you've had recommendations of Space Cowboys and For All of Mankind.
We're here to mildly inform, mate. It's what we do.
And I'd say we've exceeded our mantra already. Chris, tell me what has been going on in your week. What would you like to tell us about?
As we said at the start of the show, we recorded in unusual circumstances last week. We were sat at the foot of my bed in my hotel. We went to a wedding. It was fantastic. If anyone hasn't seen the final 20 seconds of the video from last week's show on YouTube, you would have missed Rich and I dancing on the dance floor. One of us had a tie wrapped around his head at the time. I'll leave you to guess which of us that was.
I believe that doesn't take too much thinking.
Now, the groom is a dear friend of ours, and he did something really sweet. He left personal messages for all the guests, and it was really lovely. It was brilliantly and originally written. However, it did strike a chord with me. He communicated with me, and I bet it's the same for you, in the way that all men do when they're paying each other a compliment. And so I'm here now to talk us through and review how men compliment each other. And it is, in simple terms, the reverse shit sandwich. So let's just at its most simple level, I'll give you an example. You're a constant letdown on the football pitch. Yeah. That thing you did for me yesterday was the kindest thing anyone has ever done to me. And I really, really appreciate you. You smelly bastard. It is. It seems to be that we need some space. Like, men do like paying each other compliments. I think we honestly do. And I think, like, we live in an era where I think men are generally much kinder to each other. But it seems that there needs to be a layer of insulation around the compliment. And I saw that and I thought, oh my God, that is literally every single male relationship I have. And I've been umming and ahhing all this week. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? So Richie, as someone who's a total turd, yet one of the kindest people I know, who struggles really to say anything sincere, tell me what you think about that.
I love it, because I think if we're honest, the reverse shit in the reverse shit sandwich is actually still love.
Yes.
It is what I would call comical lagging. It is, if let's take your example, you are a constant letdown when we play five-a-side together. Mm-hmm. However, you are one of my dearest friends. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you have the ability to be sincere and serious.
Yep.
Okay. There's a couple of insults either side of a compliment in there, but generally the person who receives the shit first knows that it's there to take away the awkwardness of just saying straight out something nice.
I actually think men, rightly or wrongly, just can shed the insult quite easily. I think They go, oh, you know what? Richie thinks I'm really good at five-a-side football. They'll take something in the middle, whatever that happens to be.
Yes,
and they'll completely.
We take the insult and we think it's irony.
Yeah. So it is it's a curious thing, and I personally am a really big fan of that, and I don't think we need to change it as people. No. I don't necessarily just want to say, like, okay, I don't want to go, Richie, I really like your white t-shirt. and I think you're a really great broadcaster. No one introduces Embrace better than you. And I really like the way you share your food.
I don't.
No, actually, to be honest, that last point is just a lie. It's almost like we default to sarcasm. We can't do it.
It's interesting what you say, like, about this is the way that men praise each other. I don't want to generalize, but that is kind of how we do it. When I look at some of my friends, some dear friends of the fairer sex, and I think about if you tried to do the reverse shit sandwich with them, mm-hmm. Not all of them, but a lot of them wouldn't be able to move past the first bit of shit to hear the actual compliment.
It's because I think women are more likely to take a comment at face value, whereas we just absolutely ignore everything except the truth we want to hear. And
Yes.
I mean, I would argue that one of the good things about why maybe a reverse shit sandwich is so nice. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I love a fried chicken sandwich, yeah. But if you were to give me a piece of fried chicken, one slice of bread, and then another piece of fried chicken on the outside, and that was the meal instead of the 2 bread and 1 chicken, I'd be like, that is an upgrade.
Yeah.
I mean, like the reverse shit sandwich, when you put it that way, is like, I really want that. That's really tasty.
But then equally, what you've just described, I'd actually just get rid of the bread, just have the 2 bits of chicken.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite up for going low carb. So, so what does that mean? So what does that mean? There's just no shit, or there's all shit?
No,
all
it's no compliment. It's all shit. Yeah.
I know he loves me.
You need to award stars to the way men praise each other.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 4 stars. Yeah, because like, it's not a very good way of complimenting each other, but we love to share our praise. We've got to do better. 4 stars.
On that, let's listen to this. Some fine words there from one of our show sponsors.
I need to get my credit card out straight away for that really great thing.
Yes.
I just want to make a quick note before we move on to your next thing, Rich. We sort of launched a campaign last week, and
Duncan Goodhue.
Some seeds have been sown. That's all I'm going to say. Haven't forgotten. Didn't want to ignore it.
I referred to him incorrectly.
You did.
Sir Duncan Goodhue.
Make dreams come true, mate.
Seeds have been sown.
Dreams come true. Richie, what else has happened to you this week?
Chris, how has pistachio become the flavour of the moment? Right now, as we record, we're on the cusp of the Easter weekend. There are Easter eggs, Easter treats everywhere you look. And the fact that there's so much chocolate around at the moment has kind of spotlit the fact that pistachio is right now what salted caramel was maybe 2-3 years ago. It is the go-to Vogue flavour of choice in things sweet. And I find it fascinating about how things come around in cycles, because when I was a kid, you wouldn't go into Marks and Spencer's and be able to buy a pistachio caramel chocolate bar. There wouldn't have been pistachio Easter eggs when it came round to Easter. Pistachios just would have been nuts that maybe were in a little ramekin as you went round to visit your grandparents, and they were shedding the shells and eating them because we were poor. But now, pistachio, it's everywhere. Chris, it's the go-to thing. So my question is this. What's happened? What's happened? The Pistachio Liberation Front. What have they done to make it become this Vogue flavour?
Okay, I need to ask you a question before I express an opinion. It's a really simple question. Is this a good thing?
Yes, it is. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the fact that they've taken what was back in the day just a nut. Just a nut. Just a pistachio nut. And now it is the go-to flavour in all things chocolate and sweet. And someone's been very clever and done that. And I love that, because if they hadn't have done it, it still would have been just a nut.
I agree it's a great thing. And I've got a theory as to why. And I think it is the combination, the sort of puddings, ice creams, chocolate bars that you're talking about are the combination of 3 great flavours in one. And I think this is a recent development in our palate. It is the combination of sweet, salty, and umami. It is that satisfying num, along with a salty, along with a sweet. Mm-hmm. It's just a dream, like 3 great things all at once. Look, we all like salty snacks, yeah? We all like a satisfying bit of that almost indescribable umami like nourishing flavour, and we love sweet stuff. Yeah, we also love sour and bitter. But then I would also argue things like chili and lime. I've even seen it combined with chocolate as well. Like, why have one or two flavours together when you can actually stick three together? It's an indulgence that I'm here for, mate. I love it.
Here's the thing, though, that I don't have the answer for, and maybe there's a listener who does and can email us, mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com, or find us on our socials. There has to have been a group of people, a person who has sat down in a meeting at some point and gone, we can do more with pistachios. We can do more with pistachios. There's always someone who has the idea. Now, it's a little known fact. Marks and Spencer invented the chicken Kiev. Okay.
Don't do this again. We've done this before.
Chris, it's a fact.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. No, don't.
A fact. Marks and Spencer invented the chicken Kiev. They made it the first sort of like takeaway food that you could just take from the supermarket and just heat up like that.
No, they didn't.
Who did then?
Well, the Russians or the Ukrainians with an influence of the French. We have done this before, and you got called out on social media and you completely ignored the criticism and you just ploughed straight back in. Marks and Spencer's, I'm sorry, I can't remember what we were talking about, did not invent the chicken Kiev. Do not do this. I am not prepared for the comments that we are going to get again. They did not. Acknowledge that.
I'm going to be clear right now.
Oh, God.
Pause to make it easy for you to edit. Marks and Spencer invented the chicken Kiev. And I want to know who is the person who has been as clever as Mark and Spencer back in the day and elevated pistachio to the current flavour of Vogue. They need the same recognition that Marks and Spencer got for the chicken Kiev.
I wonder if Marks and Spencer own a share in Big Pistachio.
Well, they are one of the brands who are at the front of the pistachio wave right now. On the way home tonight from the Liverpool Street M&S, I bought a pistachio and caramel chocolate bar. It's one of the Vogue flavours. They're doing so many Easter eggs with pistachio in them. They're right at the front of things.
Vogue Flavours has an OnlyFans page. I hear she's great.
Hot.
Have you had a pistachio Ritter Sport?
No, I haven't. What's that?
Well, have you ever had a Ritter Sports?
Ritter Sports, they're those chocolates that you can buy at the counters in petrol stations, aren't they?
Yeah, they're squares. They're the square bars, big square chocolate bars.
You've never seen them anywhere else
before?
No, I haven't, no.
Oh, they're actually really good. They're actually really, really good.
Now, that's really annoying because now I am an electric motorist. I don't have to go in petrol stations, and that's why I've not seen Ritter Sports for a long time.
My local newsagent does one. Next time you come over on a Sunday at 5:30 with that tub of raspberries,
yes,
up to the blue shop over the road, pick up a selection of Ritter Sports.
Mr. Ritter, Mr. Mark, Mr. Spencer, I award you 5 stars for your elevation of the pistachio. Chris, there must be something else that you want to talk about.
I'm not prepared to believe this is not going to happen. As far as I'm concerned, this is happening. And I'm going to tell you this now. Rich, in the 80s, greatest cop shows in the UK, please.
The Bill, full stop.
Number 1. Okay, there you go. That's all we need to discuss. I've seen a rumour. The return, not of The Bill, but of a spin-off series, Sun Hill, starring 3 of the original cast.
That's incredible. As you were halfway through that, a third of the way through that sentence, the idea of the return, when you'd said spin-off and we'd spoken about The Bill, I was thinking, oh my God, this could be amazing. However, I just had a nag immediately. This will only work if there is original cast in it. And you're saying that there are 3 of the classic Bill lineup that will be in this Sun Hill spin-off?
There is an IMDb listing, yeah, that has got Mark Wingett, D.I. Carver,
Wow.
who's also in Quadrophenia. He is down on the listing. Trudy Goodwin, a.k.a. June Ackland, a.k.a. mum of, who's the pop star that doing it for
Adele.
the thrill. No, doing it, do.
Oh.
What is her name?
Rita Ora.
No, like quite cool electro pop. People are going to be listening to this now and going, you idiots.
I had no idea that June Ackland was the mum of a pop star.
Here we go.
Let me hang on. You sing again and I'll put on Shazam.
Oh, no, hang on. Doing it for the kill.
It's not recognising it.
LaRue.
Eh?
LaRue, June Ackland is her mum.
Wow. I did not know that.
And let's not do this. D.I. Carver.
D.I. Carver, June Ackland,
and Tony Stamp,
As
a.k.a.
in
Graham Cole.
Graham Cole. Wow. That's the 3 that you'd want. Can I ask you a few questions about the rumours then of this Sun Hill spin-off?
Oh yes, I've got a plot line, but go.
So obviously it was ITV back in the day. Who are the guardians of this Sun Hill spin-off?
It's not been announced, but I'll give you one guess.
Netflix.
Channel 5, I reckon.
Oh no. No. Okay.
Do you want to hear the rumour
Mm-hmm.
of the plot? A spate of new crimes deemed unsolvable. Sun Hill enlists 3 veteran cops who know the beat better than anyone else.
Oh no, Chris. I'm sorry. This isn't good.
All of a sudden, the doors open. Reg Hollis isn't there, but D.I. Carver is.
Oh, I don't know about this. Because you're saying this is like cold cases from back in the day.
No, I'm saying these guys. No. New cases, but the new cops don't have the skills. These guys have got to come back in and go, we'll show you how it's done. Ackland nails some 300-pound drug dealer.
Chris, they ain't spring chickens anymore. I'm really sorry. This has been a very quick 180, but I'm worried about this.
Think only murders in the building, but British and in a cop shop.
What's your take on it?
Personally, I will 100% give this 1 episode. And then I will make a call.
Okay. I famously gave That Knight's Tale thing like 1 episode, and I've still not revisited that. And I love Game of Thrones. This makes me nervous. This makes me very nervous. Is it just a rumor, or is it actually happening?
Well, it's in IMDb now, so I think that makes it a heavy rumor. I mean, if you
ITV or Channel 5,
if you're a commissioner at Channel 5 right now, commission it now. You got 1 viewer here and 1 who I think might give it an episode 2.
if
we
it's
would,
any
wouldn't we?
good, we absolutely would. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to be proved wrong.
And if you want to do like a branded series, an episode by episode companion series, Rich and I will co-host it.
Yes, yes, we will. Yeah, sorry, that's another 180. I'm back on board.
Hello and welcome from Sun Hill. This is Richie and Chris here. Here to give you the latest from season 1, episode 1 of Sun Hill, where D.I. Carver solved a online conspiracy despite not knowing how to log into his PC.
And also later in this episode, we'll talk about how Tony Stamp was seen eating Ritz Sport pistachio flavoured chocolate bar that he bought at the local Total Garage.
And June Ackland doesn't know what her daughter's up to, but it's fine. She's just on tour.
Stay tuned for that. And don't forget to become a Patreon.
I'm going to give it 3 stars.
3's fair. Three's fair. It has promise, but it's not without a worry.
Let's hear an advert for a TV show.
Speaking about that TV show that we just heard the advert for, I would like to tell you about a TV show that I watched that I think is going to be massive.
Oh, go on, hit me.
Chris, it's called The Pitt. This is huge already in the States. HBO Max has just become available to people over here. And one of the big things that we are being sold is the fact that you can get The Pitt on there. Now, season 1 has happened in the States. They've gone straight into season 2 because it's been that big. We're getting season 1, and then episodes will start to drop of season 2 as well. What is The Pitt about? It stars Noah Wyle, who was in ER alongside Clooney back in the day. As I understand, they actually wanted to do a spin-off drama all about Noah Wyle's character in ER, but they couldn't make that happen. So they kind of thought, well, let's still just do it, but we'll just call him something different. And it's set around an emergency trauma center in Pittsburgh. That is why it's called The Pitt, because that is what they refer to like this A&E department as. I had to watch it because for the Absolute Radio Home Time show that I do with Andy Bush, we were going to interview Noah Wyle. Now, you probably know from the days when you and I met and you were producing radio shows with me, when you get to interview someone, you have to watch their vehicle first. That's a fair deal. So as a presenter, as an interviewer, you do kind of sit down. It's a bit of a chore thinking, right, I've got to sit through this. This was one of those rarities where I watched the first episode and then watched the second episode and then was ready to watch the third. It was like, this is brilliant. And I'm actually going to get to interview this person. Chris, it was really, really good. It's really good. And I used to, back in the day, I used to enjoy Casualty. I quite liked Holby City more than Casualty because I felt there was a bit more of a storyline behind it. And some of the, you could almost sort of like see every episode of Casualty. You'd see the first 30 seconds thinking, right, okay, I know how this is going to fold out. But this Pitt thing is brilliant because do you remember 24, Jack Bauer, Kiefer Sutherland back in the day, how that was done in real time? Well, The Pitt is like that. Every single episode is an hour in the, like, I don't know, sort of like the 12-hour day of the shift of the person working in the trauma center. So you're following all this thing in real time. So the amount of strands of storylines in it is astronomical. And you got so many different characters, whether they are the doctors, the nurses, or obviously the actors that are coming in that have got some kind of thing going on. I'm just going to call it right now. It's obviously already big in the States. This is going to be the next big thing that I think people will be talking about in here. Saying, oh, have you seen The Pitt? Have you seen The Pitt? It's brilliant. It's really good.
It's been heavy trailed to us. The algorithm strongly believes that it's mine and Laura's kind of show. He's an interesting actor. He was in a show called Falling Skies, which is on my watch list, and I might start next week, even though it's really, really old. It's sort of my type of TV show. I do like a procedural drama, but actually the area that I struggle with them is in hospitals, medicine, doctors. I find that kind of show really stressful. I find a show that takes me into a hospital, there's something about it that just always is a bit of a turn off for me. But I hear you. Like everyone is super hot for this, and the concept is good. I mean, again, though, is the 24 thing, is that a bit stressful? I don't know. You can tell me.
No, I don't think it is. I think that's what makes it more natural, because I think if you think about when you do go to a hospital, it's not frantic. There's a hell of a lot of waiting around. And so it actually feels a lot more authentic. You'll meet someone who's wheeled in on the gurney, and then like 18 minutes later in the episode, they've not actually made much progress in their treatment. And that is real life. So
yeah,
It's not as stressful as you think, but you're meeting quite a few different people, and it's sort of like staggered across. For example, there's one. It's not all stressful stuff. There was one gentleman who came in one of the episodes. This isn't a spoiler. It's just giving you a flavour of what it is. He'd taken too much Viagra because it was his 25th wedding anniversary. And after 12 hours, it still hadn't gone down. So one of the parts of that particular episode...
You should just use a glass of water. That will help.
No, they were having to stick a needle into his cock and inject stuff back out with a prosthetic cock.
Yeah, you're not selling this to me. Is that the light-hearted moment?
Yes, it was. And then they were getting one of the doctors to massage it. I want to give the Pitt 4 stars. The only reason it's 4 stars is because never in an episode have I done 3 5 stars, and I'm not doing it today. So the Pitt is falling down just because it is my 3rd review and the other 2 are 5 stars. But it is really good.
I'll give it an episode.
No, you won't. You'll give it more than that.
Oh, let's see. I'll report back. In the Patreon episode this week, Rich, I'm going to talk about my hangover cure from last weekend. And if anyone has ever drunk too much, you need to hear what I've got to say.
Can I ask you a question before we depart? Well, I'm only departing for those who aren't Patreons. In the Patreon episode, when you talk about said hangover cure, does it work?
Maybe you'll have to find out when you listen via paying for Patreon.
Do that now. If you've never done it before, you can find us on Patreon. If you're not going to do that, that's fine. It is your loss. You can get in touch with us, mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com. I've said that a few too many times already in this episode, so I'm not going to tell you any other ways to get in touch. You can also comment on the YouTube channel. No comments about the Indonesian stir-fry steak. Chris, off to Patreon, where I want to hear in 3, 2, 1...